Remember now, this whole MER project was predicated on the idea that we'd be able to use Mars Pathfinder, not just the concept, but the design, the detailed design, because that's where all the work is. Suddenly, the idea of using Pathfinder design started to crumble. The concepts are old, but at least the ideas of the design are the same, but you don't fly ideas, you fly hardware.
There was no strategic plan after that. It was just, you know, take this hill, take the next hill, you know, take the next hill.
You gotta believe it's gonna happen, or it's just like, why am I doing this? You just have to sort of feed on that confidence. So it's a group psychosis, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. So
3, 2, 1, engine start, and liftoff of the Delta II rocket carrying the Spirit from Earth to planet Mars.
Load relief kick rate is in, vehicles responding. Vehicles recovering very nicely from the liftoff transients.
Response is good. 3, 2, engine start, 0, and liftoff of the Delta rocket with Opportunity, a chance to explore and unlock the secrets of our neighboring planet.
The transients at liftoff. Engine position looks good.
Response is good.
We had gone through a rather stressful week leading up to landing. One was that we had had a global dust storm. What should we do about modeling this? How do we know that our system's going to work? But what's the other thing? Well, much to our surprise, after months and months and months of successful round-the-clock testing, we finally find that there's some failures that are occurring. We had 3 failures. We said, well, is it fluke? What's going on? What we've discovered is that the software is trying to turn on timers that count down to firing pyrotechnic events that, say, opens up the parachute or inflates the airbag, fires the rocket, or cuts a cable. We're finding that the software wasn't getting around to doing it. It tried, but the hardware didn't work. And there was a problem between the hardware and software that we did not know about until just 2 days before landing, in which case we'll have a failure, guaranteed failure. We're pretty nervous about this.
Show us your uncertainty, show us your estimate of your unknown unknowns, but don't...
Well, the first thing that comes to our minds was that we can manually do it by sending commands from Earth to bypass the limitations that were present during landing to make those pyrotechnic devices go.
It was one of those, you know, there's a probability it's not going to do it. Probability is probably very low, but we have to counteract it by sending this real-time command, but we really haven't tested that approach, and so how do you want to apply it?
Flight nav.
Go nav.
The Doppler signature indicates cruise stage separation has occurred.
Copy that.
All systems are go for entry, descent, and landing. We are currently 6 minutes from landing at the Gusev crater in the southern hemisphere of Mars.
MGS is green and Mach is ready to record. Atmosphere entry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
The vehicle has now hit the top of the Martian atmosphere, moving at a speed of 12,192 miles per hour. Downrange distance to the landing site is 437 miles.
You're going through an event like that, where everything that you've worked for so many years is on the line. We had no control.
Current altitude 45,000 feet. Current velocity 1,356 miles per hour. Expected parachute deploy in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. We are awaiting confirmation the parachute has deployed. Parachute was detected. Lander separation event has been detected. Spacecraft reporting lander is separated. We expect that radar will lock on the ground in approximately 5 seconds from now. Current altitude 8,000 feet. Moving at a speed of 173 miles per hour. We are near our terminal velocity. Spacecraft reporting that the radar is in lock and we have a good solution on the ground. Expected retro rocket ignition on my mark. Mark. Awaiting confirmation from the spacecraft that retro rocket ignition has occurred. At this point in time, we should be on the ground. Now 6 minutes, 37 seconds from atmospheric entry. Still awaiting signal that we are on the ground. Stand by.
In fact, it took me a while to even believe the signal was really there when Polly was saying, Rob, there's a signal. I go, where? Show me. I don't see it yet.
I think my main reaction was relief. I think is probably the main thing. It's like, oh, we made it.
The electronic tone sent from the rover indicates that the rover has landed base pedal down, which means right side up.
It was a thrill beyond thrills, not just actually witnessing what was taking place, but to be able to experience that through the eyes of these amazing individuals who had put their blood, sweat, and tears for this kind of exploration, which is so incredible. When those first pictures came back, everyone was so overwhelmed, and they were so much earlier than had been anticipated. I've always sensed, even during difficult times here at JPL, always a sense of optimism. And I go back to that great line that if you don't take risks, you're not going to learn anything. And that's why this risk-taking is so critical to our future, to improving the quality of life for us, and again, doing everything that we possibly can to inspire future generations to be as innovative.
We're going to egress and then we're going to drive.
The thing with the first images was, we're safe. It's working.
We now know that we have had a very serious anomaly on the vehicle, and our ability to determine exactly what has happened has been limited by our inability to receive telemetry from the vehicle in basically the last 12 hours or so.
On Sol 18, we were ready to use the rock abrasion tool on that target Adirondack. And when you send the command load and you don't hear anything back from the rover, your stomach gets tight and you think, well, shoot, did I send the wrong thing? Was it, did we make an error? Was the station not listening? Was something misconfigured? And unfortunately, it wasn't. It was the vehicle, and we had a nice anomaly to deal with.
Welcome to Sol 19. Today's objective, based off the fact that we had a pass last night with not really intelligible data in terms of making out a telemetry stream. We want to...
After every beep, and those are what we would send. We would send a beep, and we would send a command, and we would ask the rover to send just 5 minutes of a carrier signal. You don't even have to put any telemetry on it. You just got to tell us you heard us. And to go through those periods of just nothing. And then you try it again at a different time or at a different rate, and nothing.
Sir, I'm not seeing anything from our displays. You're not seeing any signal at this time?
So negative.
Copy that, 43. Let's keep on looking.
We had just totally lost control of the vehicle. We had absolutely lost the capability to get the vehicle to do what we wanted it to do. That was a scary feeling. We were out of control. The vehicle was beyond our reach.
Shortly after that, we'll send our beep that we sent yesterday, the real-time command to do the 5-minute carrier-only beep, and we will uplink that at 31.
And suddenly we're going from potential for having a failed surface rover and a potential landing failure just around the corner, as any landing could possibly be. And so I'm thinking that we may, in a matter of days, go from having 2 rovers to 0 rovers.
Carrier-only beep, and we will uplink that at 31.25. If we don't see that,
it's never despair. It's, you know, I wonder what we got here. I wonder if this is going to be permanent. How are we going to go through the problems? What are going to be the tactical part of the problems?
Station 6-3.
Okay, copy that. I take it you want command mode off now?
That's firm. Let's have command mode off too.
Like every 16 hours, it would, the same monitor would reset the time.
Everything's working as planned so far.
Like a well-oiled machine, isn't it?
We have partial control of the vehicle.
We're still commanding. We have not achieved today's objectives, however.
No, we have not.
And I walked into the MSA, and Cook was kind of smiling, and he said, I think we found it, and I said, it's the flash memory, isn't it? He said, yeah, and that was kind of the beginning of a very positive day.
And good evening from the flight deck at the Opportunity. At this time, we are approximately 5 minutes, 53 seconds from landing at the Meridiani Plains near the equator of Mars. Weather today at the landing site is expected to be fairly mild, with temperatures averaging about minus 15 degrees C, and there is no chance of rain today. Current velocity is 12,193 miles per hour. Over the next minute, we should begin to receive electronic tones from the spacecraft indicating the gradual deceleration.
Parachute deploy has been detected.
We have positive indication of parachute deploy. Currently at an altitude of 18,000 feet. At this time, the radar should be active. We expect that the radar will lock up onto the ground. We expect that the airbags will inflate approximately 20 seconds from now. Current altitude 5,000 feet, 168 miles per hour. 4,000 feet.
Radar solution, Matrix 21.
The radar has a positive lock on the ground. We have a retro rocket firing solution. Retro rocket ignition on my mark. This time the retro rocket
has fired.
We have confirmation that the retro rockets have ignited. We are now awaiting confirmation of positive signals bouncing on the ground.
We're seeing it on the LTP.
We have a very strong signal in the left-hand polarization channel.
We're on Mars, everybody.
And I didn't know he was going to do this, but he grabbed me and he shook me. And I really realized how much tension I'd had in my shoulders and my whole body that day. And I just felt the tension melt away.
So whereabouts? Oh, it was so electrified, the atmosphere. Governor Schwarzenegger was there, and he was captivated by all that was happening. The Vice President Gore was there.
There you saw Wayne Lee with Representatives John Culbertson and Adam Schiff.
What was, I think, really most fun for the non-scientists in the room was just watching the faces of the people that had devoted the last several years of their life to this, and seeing their enjoyment and their excitement. And here you have these normally fairly stoic scientific types, not given to great hyperbole, who are going crazy.
Oh, look at this!
I'm sorry. I'm just blown away by this. I will attempt no science analysis because it looks like nothing I've ever seen before in my life.
And it showed unambiguously layered bedrock. Couldn't be more than 10 meters away from us. The thing that we were hoping, praying that after, hundreds of meters of driving, maybe we'd find. Maybe. Bang.
What a night. I mean, this team is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the very idea, no one dared dream we would be able to pull off batting 1,000 on this. And yet this was a tremendous testimonial to how NASA, when really focused on an objective, can put every ounce of effort, energy, emotion, and talent to an important task. And this is just a truly remarkable achievement.
I think the American people saw and were able to really get a sense of the passion that is descriptive of everything we do in this agency. And certainly our great colleagues at the Jet Propulsion Lab made that such a tremendous bring it to life kind of experience for everybody who was tuned in. And there were a lot of folks tuned in and continue to.
Well, having started a tradition 3 weeks ago, I think it's an awfully good idea to keep it going.
It did get the lawyers a little unnerved, though, when I brought the champagne out to toast the crew. But, they'll get over it.
Mars Exploration Rover team.
I don't want to say that you cry, but you definitely kind of, those emotions inside you kind of, burst up, and I don't know how to really explain it. It's just it's a sense of you're very proud of the people that are surrounding you, because all the work that they have put in. When our children and grandchildren bring home that science book where it says, there is evidence of liquid water on Mars, to know that you helped build and operate and direct the rover to that spot, that's very rewarding.